Hi, it's Olivia from Girlybunches. I'm back with a video to show you how I made this Christmas tree. There really isn't very much to show you how to make the Christmas tree, but it is a variation of the Crocodile Stitch, which I've shown you before. So I will show you how I made this tree. It's quite big for my camera, as in I can't film it up close, that's why you're having to see a long shot of it at the moment, but I will show you closer up how to make the leaves that go around the tree. Okay, so here is a smaller version of the tree. If this is the big one that you've just seen, so yes, you can see I can't really fit that in. So here is a smaller version, and I've already done 2 rounds, and it's worth saying that on this one I did do a layer of felt around the cone, just a polystyrene cone. But if you had something similar that you wanted, cover that would do the trick, then this would work. So anything that's in a cone shape, we can do this stitch with. Okay, so I've already done a couple of rows here, and I haven't sewn in my ends there. And to attach the leaves, all I've done is I've used I think they're called florist pins. If I get as you can see, they're quite long pins. I think people might use these for stick pins that they decorate, but these are to me these are florist pins, and they've got these nice pearl ends to them, and I just got these on eBay, very cheap, and you can get all sorts of different colours. And yeah, you can see I've got some pink ones in here, and if you've got alcohol ink pens, I am pretty sure that you can actually colour them. So if you've got just plain ones, you could colour them with different colours, blue, green and red. That would be pretty. And yeah, so that's just all I'm using. That's all that it is attached to the cone with. I'm not gluing it on. This one I haven't covered in felt yet, but this is just an example of how I make it. So I haven't covered it in felt yet. So this tree, I've used 3 different colours of green, and of course this is your tree, and it's completely up to you how you make it and what colour you make it. You could make it red, green and cream. That would be nice for Christmas. Entirely up to you. I do recommend using 3 different colours. I started doing this in just 2 colours, and because of the way it overlaps, it doesn't overlap completely uniformly. Then I found the 3 colours help to make it look quite sort of random, as it were. So I find doing random very difficult. Someone who likes to count, someone who likes to do crochet, I find random very difficult. So this example, I'm just doing 1 colour, so I don't have to worry about doing it all different layers and different colours. So yeah, right. So the Crocodile Stitch isn't any different to how I've done in my previous videos on how to do the Crocodile Stitch. It is, I'll tell a lie, it is different, but okay. So in my previous videos I did 5 stitches into the posts. Go back and watch my Crocodile Stitch videos if you haven't seen any, because you might find that quite helpful. I'll put a link down below. There's 3 of them, but I'll put a link down below to all 3 of them. And I did a picot stitch at the bottom of the Crocodile Stitch. So there's also, I've done a video on how to do the picot stitch as well, so I'll put a link to that down below. But that's all I did. I did 6 each side in a picot stitch, whereas I think in the other video I just did 5 and 3 chains. So that's all I've done differently. Okay, so this cone is quite small and won't need too many rounds to do it. So the first round consists of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 petals. If you were using a thinner yarn, then you would probably need more, but I've used a double knit yarn here with a 4mm hook, and it gives a nice lush feeling. I'm terribly sorry if you don't like the sound of polystyrene. Probably should have done a warning. I'll put a warning at the beginning of the video. Okay, so they are made up of separate rounds, and if I just show you one in a different colour, you'll see that it's just a complete round, and I'll just put that over the top there, and you can see that I need another one there. So this one's got 5 petals, and so we need one that's got 4, and this is 3 here. So I'm just going to show you the principles of oh, sorry about that, you've gone out of focus. Come back. There we go. I'm just going to show you the principles of how to do this. Okay, so I did have to get a pen and paper out and do lots of sums, and as you can see from my sum book that I've worked out all the difficult stuff for you, so all you need to do is just make your Christmas tree. So what I worked out was that for every petal that you will want to have round, you will need to times that number by 2. And the reason I times that by 2 is because you need 2 posts in order to make your one petal. So you need a set of posts to work the stitch around and a set of posts to anchor the stitch around. So each petal requires 2 posts, and once you've got that number, you then need to times that number by 3, and that is the number of chains that you will need to make in order to do the round. Okay, so here we go. We've worked out that we needed 4 petals on this round because we had 6, 5 and 4, and I'm doing it in the grey to hopefully make it a bit easier for you to see what I'm doing. So the 4 petals I times by 2, and then I times that number by 3, so that gives me 24. So I did a chain of 24 and I've joined it with a slip stitch into the first chain. Okay, so now I need to do 3 chains to become my first treble. Remember, I use British terminology, so I know that as a treble, but you may know that as a double crochet. And let's tighten that loop there. So the next one I'm going to do is a treble, because we need to make posts, which consists of 2 trebles. Then I'm going to chain 1 and skip one of the foundation chains, that one, and then I'm going to work a treble, 1 treble into the next 2 stitches. And I'm just going to repeat that all the way round. So skip 1 stitch and then do 1 treble into the next 2 chains. I'll just do one once more. So skip that one and 1 treble, and another treble, and then just carry all the way round till I get to here, finish with 1 treble and slip stitch into the top. So I'll come back when I've done that. Okay, so I've done that now, and what we've got there is 8 sets of posts, which is just what we want because we need 4 petals and we need to times that number by 2 to get the number of posts we need, sets of posts, which is 8, and that's great. I just need to point out at this stage that it sounds like my neighbours downstairs are having a knock the flat down party, so if you hear any banging or shouting, I do apologise, but I have got halfway through filming this and I would like to carry on. Okay, so just pretend they're not there. I hope you can't hear them, but I can. Okay, so we're going to do something slightly different to the last time we did the crocodile stitch, in that we would start the stitch and then we would turn it over and work around this way. But we can't do that because we want the stitches to appear, the scale stitches, the crocodile stitches, to appear on the outside of this loop. So to do that, we're going to be turning the work and working that way along those posts, and then turning it the other way to work along those posts to give us the stitch that comes down like that. So if I just show you on this one, I worked the stitch down, did the picot stitch and turned it this way and worked around that set of posts. And if I show you the back, I don't know if you'll be able to see, but you'll clearly be able to see that in there, underneath those stitches are the posts, and there are the other 2 posts that we didn't work around, but I anchored down these stitches too. So I hope this makes sense. maybe familiarise yourself with the Crocodile Stitch first. I've got links to videos in the description box. Apologies if I've already said that. Got distracted by the builders downstairs. Okay, so I'm going to do 6 trebles. I think the other one I did 5. This one we're going to do 6, just to make it more full. You know, it's Christmas. You can't go over the top at Christmas, can you? So yeah, we're going to do 6 trebles in around this post. So we need to start with chain 3, and like I said, we're going to turn the work and we're going to work up through that post there. Not the easiest stitch to demonstrate, as you'll see in my previous video, but hopefully you will get it. And do go back and watch those other videos, because I really do this very slowly to explain how the stitch works. So there's 3, 4, 5, and they're shouting downstairs, 6. Okay, so the other thing I did differently, let me show you what I've done there. You can see that's half of the stitch done. I then do a picot stitch at the bottom here. I've got a video I've done on how to do that, but just briefly, you chain 3 and then you put the hook down through the top of that last treble like that, sort of diagonally, and then just do a slip stitch and pull the yarn through that loop, which gives us a nice little bobble on the end. And then you turn the work the other way to work in the same fashion up through that post like that. So again, this side we need to do 6 trebles. 2, 3, 4, 5, and one more. Oops, I got caught up on something there. Okay, so let me just take the hook out and show you what we've done. And there is our stitch, worked around those stitches like that. Okay, those posts, sorry, around those posts. So what I need to do now is just slip stitch down through those 2 posts there, just to anchor that stitch down so it doesn't flap about, and that is your first stitch done. And then you just repeat that by this set. You'll work around, then you'll anchor it, you'll work around, you'll anchor it, just like you do in the crocodile stitch before, like I've shown you before, but this time we're just going in a round. So I'm going to do that and I'll come back when it's done. Okay, so I've gone all the way around now and I've got my 4 petals in. Doesn't look too exciting like that, does it? But I just wanted to show you how I finish this off. So I've got fingers and thumbs, that's what I've got. Right, so I've got these 2 flappy bits now, which aren't going to be attached down to anything. So instead of just going straight through and finishing off with a slip stitch, what I try to do is get the hook, put that through that third chain that we do when we're starting off like that, and then I put the hook through those 2 posts and do a slip stitch through all of them, and that just secures that petal scale stitch down. So if I just do that, and that's where I finish off. So I just get my scissors and cut the yarn with my fingers like that, and then I can secure that off with a nice tight knot like so, and there we go, that's our next round done. So if I just get my cone that's already been started, and I'll just put that over the top, and then I would like that, and you can arrange it as you wish. And again, I just get these pins and I just put them in. Now obviously that pin's going to go right through, so you have to start sort of pushing them down at an angle like that, otherwise you're going to get one of those in your finger, and I don't want you to do that, and I don't want you to blame me for doing that, so be careful everyone. You could glue this down if you wanted to, but I don't see the point when you can just put these pins in. You would need a pin with a sort of fairly round or big head to it. If it's just a normal dressmaker's pin, it will just go right through the yarn and not attach anything useful to it at all. So yeah, obviously I wouldn't be doing this in grey. I just wanted to show you how to do it in a colour yarn that you'd be able to see properly. So again, just having a look at this one, I'm trying to squeeze in. Yeah, I've actually done 3 colours like I mentioned before, but I also did 2 rounds of each row before I moved on to the next one. So there's 2 rounds of this number, which I think is 10, and then I did 2 rounds of 9, then 2 rounds of 8, 7 and so on, just to give it a well, a nice full looking appearance. Obviously this one's much smaller, so I'm only doing 1 round of each number for each row, sorry. So I'll clarify, because I don't think I've mentioned this yet, to work out the actual number of chains that you will need. I've already said that you need to work out how many petals you want and then times that number by 2 and then times that number by 3, but you won't know how many you will need to start off with. So what I did was I just kept making a big long chain until I got a chain long enough to go all the way round the bottom of my cone. I started at the bottom and worked my way up. Started at the bottom and I just made that to the nearest number of chains that was divisible by 3. So yeah, you have to do a little bit of working out on that first round. Once you've worked out how many you actually need, and you have to divide that and work it out to the nearest 3, then obviously you don't want it too tight, but you don't want it too loose either. So it does take a little bit of working out and just a little bit of counting, but not an unhealthy amount of counting for crochet. As you know, there's that shush I'm counting thing that we us crocheters like to do. So yeah, work that first round out and then you'll be able to do the rest, which should follow. So it's all numbers that are divisible by 3. Okay, so that is my Christmas tree video. So this, just to show you, this is the bauble that is on the tree, the big tree, and I'm going to show you how to make this. This is just I use crochet cotton for this, but it's quite thick. This is sort of it's not double knit, well it might be, yeah, it's double knit, but I used a 3mm hook for this just to give it a nice tight appearance, and I can only get hold of these polystyrene baubles, but if you can get the clear ones that would be better obviously, but nothing to stop you covering it in felt or painting it first. But I left mine like that and did quite a close pattern on it. I'm going to do a video on how I did this in my next video, so that you can if you just wanted to do baubles, then that's what you can do. So yes, that's what I did I'm going to do in my next video. I really hope you enjoyed this Christmas tree video. I enjoyed doing it, and I think it looks really festive. Thank you so much for watching. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, that would be really great. And yeah, subscribe, I would really love a subscribe, and you'll get to see all the new things that I will be coming up with very soon. So take care for now, and I'll see you soon. Bye.